Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming to our first episode of Behind the Agent podcast, where I get to talk to the top agents, managers, people in the industry that have just done amazing things. And I'm so excited to be with you today. And I'm so excited that our first guest of everybody had to have Dave Archuleta, because Dave is
Yay.
near and dear to my heart. So here he is in the flesh.
Thanks, Michelle. Appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, yeah. So one of the things I love about what you've done in your business is you've only been in for since 2019, right? In the
I think
industry?
I didn't go full time until 2020, like right when COVID started. So
Yeah.
literally January 1st was my first day. And then COVID started in like February-ish time. So it was a lot of craziness, but it was cool because I really had to learn a lot. And then also
Yeah.
at the same time, when everything got shut down, it gave me so much time. I probably gained 5 years of experience just by watching every podcast I could watch and YouTube thing I could watch. So I didn't let those 2 months go to waste.
Nice. Yeah. When we first met, because you were a brand new agent, I hired your wife as a brand new agent, and then
Mhm.
you came on board and you guys started a team. I think in the beginning you were doing like me. I mean, it's really before you even started a team, and you've grown it from nothing or very little to almost $300 million in production a year.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I mean,
So I'm
there's a
sure.
lot of stuff over the years that we've done. So it's kind of baby steps. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
can I can look back and know all the data points of when things changed and the things I did that did those changes. I think we all have those things as any business owner. I don't know. I kind of felt like I just sped up the timeline a little bit, just because I'm an overachiever. I don't know. I mean, my wife knows I work hard and I probably work more than I should, but I do love what I do. And I love challenges. I love solving problems. And I always tell the guys on the team, you get paid by the amount of problems you solve, and the bigger problems you solve, the more money you make. I think it's very true. Yes, we sell homes, but really we solve problems, and people work with us because that's what we do. We solve their problem. They want a goal, and we help them achieve it with the systems that we've developed over the years. And we're still refining them every single weekend that we are in business. It feels like.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you've done amazing with territory management, and that's one thing that I think I look at no matter what happens with technology and AI and all the things, video and social media, I always notice that the top agents, most of them are somehow involved in territory management. And you've taken the city of Rancho Mission Viejo and just taken over that city. And it's just amazing to watch when you drive through. All you see is the Archuleta team signs and all the open houses and all his team members holding the open houses. And you're just like, what did I just walk into? The Archuleta world. They should name the city of Archuleta. I mean, that's what really, I mean, it shouldn't even be Rancho Mission Viejo. So, like, how did you decide that this is the way I'm going to grow my business?
Well, I think Julia was always a farmer. When we lived in Aliso Viejo, she did Canyon Villas in Aliso Viejo. It dominated that little community. Then we moved to Rancho Mission Viejo in 2014, and I was trying to encourage her. I'm like, why don't you do that here in Rancho Mission Viejo so you don't have to drive, 40 minutes just to do a showing in Aliso. And she didn't want to give up the farm yet. And so I don't know, it was probably 2015 that she finally like, yeah, maybe we should. Because one person said, hey, can you sell my house? And then it kind of took off from there. And then we slowly stopped doing in Aliso and started branching out over here.
Nice. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because you guys moved there and then you're like, we're here. It just made perfect sense. And
Yeah.
then did you start like did you test the market at all? Did you like, did you run numbers like the turnover rates this and we should start with 500, we should start with the what how did you end up like getting like growing it?
I think most agents should look at the return levels. We didn't do that, but I think that's kind of what made us organically just work here. And a lot of it, I think, if I think about it, it's we were more neighbor first and business card second, if that makes sense. Like we never talked about that we're realtors, we want to sell your home. Like that's never been my approach. And anything I've done here in R&B, it's never been about let me sell your house. It's always been about the relationship first. And if I can focus on that and really take the time to get to know someone for who they are and show that they're seen, known, and valued, to me, that's when it turns into business because it naturally um, it earns trust and you earn the right to ask for the business and
Yeah.
it comes to you, they call you because they see you as a trusted person and a trusted advisor because you've kind of earned that right. So when it comes to farming, I honestly I think you got to earn the right to take that farm, and that's
Yeah.
by developing relationships, pouring into the community. I really think there's an advantage of living in the farm that you're in. I think a lot of agents don't like to do that because it's their, where they live. But in my mindset, I'm like, well, if you screw up a deal in another farm, it doesn't matter which farm it is, just don't screw up.
Yeah, I never understood why agents don't want to farm where they live. It makes you automatically know your neighbors, like at least, 10 of your neighbors, like
Totally.
automatically. So
And
like when you
you
talk
know the
about
ins and
like no
outs,
trust. Yeah. And like I mean, that's the biggest reason I think that people use the neighborhood experts. They're like, I want to know if that guy's got a barking dog and if that guy,
Yeah,
smokes out on his front porch and if, that, you know what I mean? You want to know these
totally.
things that only a neighborhood expert would know. So
And think
yeah,
about it like as a homeowner, not as an agent, but as a homeowner, you take pride in your home, you take pride in where you live and the community that you live in. So it makes it very easy to passionately sell that because you believe it with all your heart. So as an
mhm,
agent, when you're farming and you farm it where you live, it's so much easier to talk about where you live because you love it already. So
yeah,
I mean, that's always my pitch to agents. Like, yeah, start where you live and farm there, and then you can slowly grow it out from that. But be involved in the community. Don't just be an agent and a business owner. Be a neighbor. Be a resident of Rancho Mission Viejo or whatever city it is that you're trying to farm. I mean, we're so involved in the community, whether it's the school, clubs. I think that's really like one thing that really took us off faster than a lot of other people is because we got so involved in events and,
mhm,
you know, started this little softball club that, you know,
yeah. I
it
remember that.
turned it turned into 300 people that play every single Tuesday. So now that when I'm hanging out my open house signs and I'm waving at everybody, they drive by Dave, and I know immediately it's someone from Softballers, and that kind of put me on the map, to be honest.
Yeah,
Because that we went from 20, 30 million to 60 million overnight, and that's probably generated about 50, 60 listing side sections.
nice.
But I
That's
didn't
awesome.
start it for that in mind. I started it because it was COVID, and I wanted to play softball, and we had this brand new field and no one could play on it yet, and I didn't know how to start a club. I just figured it out, you know.
And the one thing I love about you is so a lot of times you'll have, geographic experts and you are absolutely that really focus on the farm area and a lot of that is mailing. But the one thing that you do and I know that you mail too and I know you mail a lot, but you also implement technology into your prospecting so it's not just mail, they're seeing you everywhere. Tell us about how you figured out like, okay, I can't just mail or it's getting expensive to mail or I need to double down on some other aspects. How did you start with that and what that look like?
Well, I mean, I started out with Facebook. Everyone was on Facebook here, and I wanted to get good at it, so I studied it and learned it. Got creative with how to put videos on there and brand and make it look cool so it stood out. And then from there, I went to Instagram, and I really wanted to get good at Instagram and let people see my face. And then, I think last year I kind of went all in on YouTube, and YouTube's been like the game changer for me. um, I've, I get at least one or two listings a month just from my stupid videos, and they're nothing special at all. They're like so boring. And, when I have time, I like that's what I'm trying to work on right now is really stepping up my game on my video content and doing more of it because I can go to farmers market now and at least 50 people walk by and say, I see you all the time on my TV, and like, or I can go to Lucky Strike and go bowling and hey, I see you all the time. And I know it's not from my mailers. I know it's not from my open houses. It's because they saw me on YouTube or they saw me on an Instagram ad. So it's kind of a mix of all those things. You can't just do one and go all in on it. You got to do a mix of it all. I know like people don't like to do mailers, but mailers work for me. And it's taken 4 years of consistent mailing, but I get one listing every single mailer I send. So to me, it's worth it. And not only that, people save those things. When I go up to listing appointments, they pull out their stack, and they're like, yeah, we get these all the time. And we knew when it was time we were going to call you because you send these consistently. You never miss. Every 2 weeks, I get a new one. So those are the kind of things I think that if you go all in on them and you stay consistent, I found that you had to do at least 9 to 12 months of mailers for it to pay off for one or two transactions. But after that, if you just keep it up, it's a no-brainer in my eyes. So
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of agents, especially younger, newer agents, they just want to do social media.
yeah,
And, because it's like fun and it's easy and you don't have to I kind of think of it like you're not going to face any confrontation. You're not going to have to, face any rejection. It's like you can
yeah,
do it from your living room and never leave the house. And I just think it has worked for some people, but it rarely works. You have to do there's got to be another aspect
yeah.
to your.
I mean, I 100% agree with that. I mean, if you look at some of the biggest influencers, I mean, they have millions of followers and yet they still can only do 5 or 10 transactions a year. To me, that shows you exactly why social media doesn't necessarily get you transactions. It has to be a balance of everything.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with that. So what do you see yourself doing? Okay, no, before I get into that, at what point did you say, I need teammates? I need to build a team.
I think me and Julia were always different on this. She always just wanted to keep it with between me and her, and I respected it. I like the idea, but I'm like such a builder. I like to build things, and I honestly I get bored. So I have to have like big projects. And so I was like, we need to start a team because that's the next level of our business. Like we've done what we can by ourselves, and so now I think it's time to grow a team. We've got the resources to do it. We've got the blueprint. So let's start raising up some people. And so we came up with the Archuleta team. And so we were no longer Dave and Julie Archuleta. So that was a little transition. People were like, what's the Archuleta team? What happened to Dave and Julia? But it was the process. And I didn't like go and recruit. I kind of just did word of mouth. And, we started with 10, 15 agents and, all those guys were crushing and doing great. We had probably a good 3-year run with those guys. And then they all got recruited. And the downside for me is that I didn't recruit. And I learned my lesson because now that's what I do as I recruit. So, no matter what's going on with your team, even if you're happy with the size that it's at, you always got to keep recruiting. And so, that was my big lesson that I learned. So now I'm all in on recruiting and continuing to grow the team and grow the agents that I have and then bringing on new people because I think it's just the natural thing of our business. People always think the grass is greener on the other side and it never is because all the guys that leave, their numbers aren't what they used to be in the team atmosphere. So, but I get it.
Yeah.
I did the same thing. It's just part of our business. And, I think the only thing it's discouraging because I care about our team the guys on the team, and I treat them like family. And then they have to go out and fly and it hurts. But at the same time, I'm like, it's pretty cool because I see them out there now doing their thing. And I'm like, they're doing stuff that I was doing. So I'm like, this is kind of cool that I got to ingrain some kind of influence in their business and their life. And, I hope they always know that I'm always here and trying to, still going to be an encourager to them. So,
Yeah. And you never know. Like they might come back and then
yeah,
that's like a huge win because they got to kind of experience what it's like to be out there on their own and then they come back.
yeah,
And so never close the door, always leave it open. That's what I always say.
yeah. I love it. I know you teach me a lot about
Yeah. Yes, yes.
that.
So you have amazing systems for your team.
Mhm.
I've seen the things that you've built in Follow Up Boss and the things that you've built in just your spreadsheets and what you use in technology. And did you build those systems and then decide to grow a team, or you grew a team and you're like, oh crap, I need systems?
I kind of already had systems for me, but they weren't scalable. So I had to rethink them a little bit to make them scalable for someone new or someone that is at a different level, right? So
Hmm.
I kind of, as we started the team, I started building systems, and I think I got them even dialed more now through the years, and I still trying to make them better. Uh, like here's one thing, like I'm really working on. I had a mentor tell me, um, because I was asking him, so if you were me, like, you know what I've been doing for the last 5 years or so, and I want to scale more and I want to do more. I know that my systems can handle like 30 to 40 listings at a time with with as many escrows as needed. You know, a year and a half ago, I could handle 5 to 10. That was a lot. So I had to retweak my systems to handle that scale when 2025 slowed down and I started stacking listings. So I wanted to get now to how could I handle 50 listings at a time and what would I have to change in my marketing to get 50 listings at a time and be able to handle that workload. And so I'm talking to this guy who's done this for a lot of agents and he's like, Dave, here's the truth. People don't hire you because of you. They hire you because of the standards of excellence that you have. And if you can put that on paper and put a system to it, it doesn't matter who the agent is. It doesn't matter, if it's you or if it's not. It's the system and it's the excellence that you have that people are going to trust. And so with that mindset, I was like, that's totally right. People work with me because they know that I'll deliver on what I promise in that listing appointment. They know that I have a proven track record. They see my results. And now I just got to put all these standards of excellence and recruit the right people on my team to understand, like, hey, this is how I run open houses. I don't sway from it. And if you want to sway from it, there's probably another team that would love to have you on the team. But this is
Hmm.
the brand and this is the expectation I have. And this is the expectation that my client has because I've promised that to them and I always deliver that as best as I can. So like right now, that's like 2026 has all been about putting those standards of excellence in the system on paper that people can look at it and know exactly what to do at an open house from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock, what my expectation is before they get there, what the expectation is during it and after it, like even down to like, where do you park your car? And, obviously I think some stuff is common sense, but no, it's not. It's some people think
Yeah.
it's okay to park in front of the house, or park in their driveway or the garage. I'm like, no, park down way down the street, save the parking spots for the guys that come in to see the home. Let's make as much parking available as possible.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so I know I talk to a lot of agents who are really good listing agents and do a lot of territory management, but are scared to have other people on their team because they're scared of their brand, or what if they mess up, or what if they piss off my clients, or what if they don't hold the same level of expectation I do. So what would you say to them? Like, is that just being a control freak, or do you have to be a certain amount of a control freak, but you need to trust a little bit? I mean, what would you say to
You
somebody that is?
you have to let go a little. You still have to control a little bit, but that's where you have those standards in place. And your agents will let you down and will piss off your clients, and you have to be okay with that. And you have to be confident enough to have that conversation and a difficult conversation with the client to stand up for your guy on your team. And I do it all the time. Something happens, they hear it on a camera or something, and I have to go defend my agent and also defend my listing, right? And it's
Yeah.
it's such a I don't know. It's a difficult conversation, but you have to have those difficult conversations. And so many agents don't want to have those conversations. They'd rather send a text or a voicemail or an email and say that's good enough. It's like the same thing when an agent wants to leave a team or a brokerage and they want to leave you a text message or an email because they can't have that difficult conversation with you that they want to leave, right? To
Yeah.
me, that's like a perfect example. Like, here's a growth opportunity that you have to have a difficult conversation with your manager saying, hey, I've made a decision to leave and here's why. Thank you so much for the opportunities you've given me. Like it's a great opportunity to have that, that badge on you to say, I had that one conversation, because we don't have many hard, difficult conversations. So when you have that opportunity come up, look at it from a mindset of like, wow, this is a great opportunity to either climb over this difficult wall or hit the wall and say, forget it. I'm turning back. I'm not climbing this one,
Yeah.
So I got an
And I
agent
think
on.
that's a muscle. I talk a lot about that, about confrontation. Like, it's a muscle I feel like you need to exercise a lot. Otherwise, you're going to run and hide every time something hard comes up. And
Totally.
like, yeah, so it is absolutely sometimes, when I'm with Cam and he's got to like, we have to let somebody go, or we have to, reprimand somebody. I'll be like, I'll do it. Not because I like to see people in pain, but
Yeah.
because if I don't do it on a regular basis, then when I have to do something hard, I won't want to. And then you have to go through that angst. So I
Yeah.
do believe you have to strengthen that muscle for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like a growing, stretching your capacity to handle things, right? So
Yes.
when I got an agent on the team and she doesn't want to have that conversation with her client, I'm like, you can either climb this wall right now or you can back up. But I think it's time you start climbing this wall because this is like the third time it's happened in the last 6 months. What do you want to do? I kind of leave
Yeah.
it in their hands because I can't force them to like do it or, of course I'll do it for them, but it's not about me. It's about them and their business and me trying to help push them and, get them to their comfort zone and just stretch it a little bit more, because
Mhm.
that's where growth really happens. So yeah, so I'm on
And that's
board
what
with
I
it.
love about,
Totally.
yeah, how you operate is like you're all about your agents growing, and you're coaching them, you're holding them accountable, you're like everything that you'd want out of a coach, like you do that for your team, and it's so excellent to watch. And I think there are team leaders that are really shitty team leaders and team leaders that are amazing, and you're definitely in the amazing category. So congratulations on
Yeah.
that.
I mean, I try to make myself available all the time. And I know my phone like blows up all the time, but like I'll answer when they call. Julie answers when they call. I mean, I have conversations at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night with all my agents. And that's the rule. It's always like, hey, I'm always going to be here. Yes, I'm busy and I have a lot of clients that I have to deal with, but I'm always going to make time for you guys. So, I want you to call me because if you don't call me, it just says that you don't really care about your business. And it makes it hard for me to want to invest in that because I don't know how much you really want it. Right.
Yeah, for sure. So, what would you say to an agent that was either newer in the business or something you wish you started doing? I know you said you should have tested the market a little bit. You should have been recruiting right away. Anything else that you would give advice for agents that are newer in the business and just getting started and wanting to take their career to the next level?
The whole return on market doesn't matter to me because I think if you're really good at relationships, people are going to use you or they're going to refer you. You know what I mean? So that's probably why I would never, even if Rancho had data at that time, it wouldn't matter to me because I have a belief in myself that I know that I'm going to be successful no matter where I'm at or what I'm doing. Whether that was playing in bands, and I didn't play guitar yet, but I wanted to play in a band. So I taught myself how to play. And then in 2 years, I was in a band. And then within 3 years, I was touring a band. And within 5 years, I was in a signed band. So that's kind of always been my mindset. I can do anything that I want to if I put my mind to it and I really believe in it. And so with real estate, like I'm good at it because I believe in it. I love it. I'm passionate about it. I know how to market. And if I don't know how to market, when something changes, like the whole AI that's going on, I'm going to figure it out and I'm going to study, So 10 o'clock to midnight, I'm always, okay, what can I learn tonight to help my business tomorrow? And, so I've been going all in on AI and AI agents. Like I'm so excited for the future. It's going to save me tons of time and let me do even more. And so if you're a new agent, I would say I would leverage your energy that you're new because there's a lot of agents right now that aren't jumping on board on AI and AI agents, which I think is the future. A lot of agents aren't going all in on relationship building. To me, that's like the biggest thing. Like I got a new agent. He's been maybe 6 months in. He's on 7 transactions already. and he's 22 and he crushes and he does the work. He door knocks, he writes letters and puts them on doors and he calls people and he's getting listings. I mean, he's on his fourth listing already. And it's all
Wow.
just from letters, door knocking, developing relationships at open houses. So I would go all in on just relationship building and working on AI and learning how to use it for you. ChatGPT and just using it as a chat bot is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about going to the way levels above that. And it's all
Hmm.
there for you on YouTube. I mean, shoot, you can do anything on YouTube these days. Yeah.
Yep. You could learn
So
anything. Yes, for sure.
another thing I would do, if I was going to be a farmer, I would develop myself into um, a guy that does events in the community. That was really, I think, what put me on the map for Rancho Mission Viejo was our softballers league that we started. And so from there, I developed like the four things I call them super events. The four things that super events have to have. And I can do now mega open houses and promote it on a Tuesday and do it on a Thursday at 3 o'clock, and 200, 300 people will show up because they know what they're going to get when they come because I've
Hmm.
proven it in all the other events that I've done. Like I love having names as a part of an event. Like if you can't
Hmm.
have a name and you can't brand it with something, it's not very compelling for people to want to show up. So like,
Yeah.
when we do get off up for charity, like people show up because it's a funny name and they get it. It's a charity event. And we all dress up
Hmm.
like elves. Softballers was just my softball club, but they all have logos. They're all look cool and want to create excitement for people to want to be a part of it. Like number two, you got to like have intentional community and connection for people. It's about people connecting with others. We did a wine tasting event once a month for a long time. And my tagline was, if you think wine tastes purple, then this club is for you. Because like my wife is an agricultural business major, so she knows everything about wine, and I could stand wine, but I really wanted to learn how to like it because she loved it. So I was like, let's do a club, and because I know there's people like me that want to know about wine, and then there's really connoisseurs that want to know even more. So we did it like once a month, and what was really cool was that I'd invite people that just moved into Rancho Mission Viejo. Like they just moved and bought a house. So I'd put a flyer on them to invite them to the club and give them 2 tickets because it was like a $30 event, a bunch of wine tastings and food and appetizers. And so they would come and they don't know anybody. So for me, being able to be like a connector and just say, hey, you guys got to meet, Tom and Kathy. They just moved here from North Carolina. They live in Canopy. You guys live in Canopy. You guys are literally like walking distance to each other's house. Hang out. Tom
Love that.
Ferry's like really good at that. He's
Yeah.
he's really good at connecting people. It's like we did an event with him at his house, and like he told me exactly who I need to go talk to get the info that I needed for my business. And then he told me to go talk to this person to help them with what I could help them with. And like
Yep.
he wasn't looking at a sheet. Like it was on his
Mhm.
mind. It was like
Yeah.
so cool to see. But that's really like his super strength is just connecting people. And that's what you got to do when you do events. You got to be able to connect people so when they walk away from that event, they walk away with friends, they walk away changed, and they feel good, right? And you get to be a part of that. Also, the third thing my super events have, they're super organized because I believe that people come to your events and they're interviewing you to be their agent
Mhm.
in the future. And so it's a great way to show off your organizational skills. It's a way to show off how you handle stress because events, when you've got hundreds of people involved, it's a lot of stress. So are you calm under pressure? Are you able to enjoy the event? Because people can tell. And then the fourth thing, like I think, like you have to be passionate about it, and there's got to be a reason why you're doing it. Like for me, softball, I wanted a night out with the guys, because my wife had tennis on Mondays, and I'm like, well, I want to go out, have a night out. So, and I played baseball in high school, so I'm an athlete, so I wanted to get out and have fun. So that's what I do when I do events. That's my mindset.
No, I know your events are amazing. I've been to a few and they're just, everybody has so much fun and you are a connector and you connect people to other people and
Mm.
yeah, and it really like makes people feel special. So I think that that's a great part of really conquering a geographic territory for sure.
And if you can do it with those four things in mind, the bonus is that it becomes repeatable. And that's when it turns into something that leaves a legacy behind. Like I think softballers will go on forever. Like it will never
Yeah.
end. I mean, as people come in and move into the community, more people join, right?
Yep.
So every single Tuesday, I see 250 people that live in the area. Like it's pretty awesome. And they
That's
love
awesome.
it because like their family comes, the kids come. So it's the same thing with all the events. So I
Yeah.
try to do things that I can brand and I can repeat year after year if it's a one-off yearly event, get back to the
Yeah, because you don't have
80s.
to think about it. You're like, I've done this. I know what I'm doing. It's like, yeah, you don't have to think about it. You don't have to plan so much every time because
Yeah.
it's repeatable.
And
Yeah,
people look
that's awesome.
forward to it when it becomes a really good event.
Hmm.
So,
So I know that you're an avid reader and you love business books, and we talk about a few of our favorite business books. Is there anything lately you've read or you're reading right now that you just think is a must read?
oh my gosh, The Science of Scaling is so good.
Okay,
Uh,
awesome.
that's probably the biggest game changer book I've read in a few years, to be honest.
I'm gonna
It's
give you one.
all right. Let me
Um,
see.
Almanac of Naval Ravikant. Have you ever heard of him?
Uh-uh.
Real estate book. It's more of a business slash philosophy.
Love it.
And he was one of the founders of PayPal with Elon Musk and Peter Thiel. And I've read both of their books too, or a few of their books. Peter Thiel's and Zero to One, I think it's called.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I read that.
yeah, but Naval Ravikant,
I'll check it
amazing.
out.
Yeah, it makes you think. So, I just wanted to thank you so much for being with us today and giving away secrets and, motivating people to really get down and dirty in this business because I think this business is worth getting down and dirty for. Dave is a perfect example of somebody who has just made a killing, doing this and really supported his family, a great lifestyle. How many kids do you have now?
5.
5 kids? You need to make a
Yeah.
lot of money to support 5 kids.
Yeah. I need to get them licensed and be my agents.
Yes, yes. So, yeah, I just think it's awesome what you've done, and I was so excited for you to be our first guest on our podcast. And if you like what we're doing here, go subscribe in the subscribe button, and this will be the first of many. And we are very excited. And thank you, Dave, for being with us today. And can't wait to see you in person again.
Yay. Thank you, Michelle.
Thanks.